Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Community Cafe. I'm Jim McDonald.
These people are in pain. If you too are suffering, you know how hard it is to get others to understand your pain, especially doctors.
Customers' inspection visits, which are individually customized to suit your personal requirements.
Alan. I can't take it anymore.
Stand back, he's got a laptop.
I'm not afraid to use it. I block.
Well, I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm from the South. I've lived in the South most of my life. Graduated from in engineering with a degree in engineering, and after graduating engineering, I designed submarines for about a year and a half. Then I got drafted, or I was going to be drafted, and so I joined the Army. So I served a 3-year hitch in the Army, and I got out. I went into engineering sales. I did that for quite a while, and moved around the country. I've lived as far north as Philadelphia, as far west as the Mississippi River, and as far south as Orlando, Florida.
A couple of years before dawn, when the streets belong to the cops, and the janitor with a mop, and the grocery clerks are all gone. I have been a singer for as long as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories are my mother singing lullabies to me. And so I decided to branch out from singing into first thing I did, I guess, would be considered runway modeling. And so from there I went into film acting, and from there I went into my most recent endeavor, which is voiceover work.
You're watching Orange TV, your government in action, a service of Orange County government.
Well, the play's Guys and Dolls, and I have the honor of playing Sky Masterson, who is one of the two heroes. The play revolves around two different couples, and I'm one of the male in one of the couples. And I have it's a great role. I have several well-known songs. One of which is I've Never Been in Love Before. That's a song that most people would recognize if they heard it. And then the second big song that I do is Luck Be a Lady Tonight, which takes place in a sewer. And both those songs, I think, would be easily recognized by anyone who listens to the radio. And another thing that's kind of unique about it that I'll mention is it takes place in the late 40s, early 50s perhaps. And I happen to have a picture of my father, who's deceased. And I have a picture of him when he was about the age that Sky Masterson would be, at about the same period of time that this play takes place. So I'm using, this picture that I have of him, I'm using it as a guide as to how I want to make myself up and how to look. For example, I don't have a mustache, and my father had a mustache in the picture, and back then the small pencil mustaches like Rhett Butler used were quite popular. And so I'm going to wear a mustache and some other things. So I think that's kind of exciting to try to look as much like my father when he was younger. I think that's kind of neat. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, I've done 9 operas with the Orlando Opera Company, and after developing the singing technique that opera singers use, all these roles were in the chorus. I've done one role, and it was a small role with the Orlando Opera, and that was the role of the Cappadocian ambassador in Salome. But the other operas, of course, you have to be able to sing loud. You've got to be able to sing with the chorus. So you have to be able to not only have a voice, but you have to have an ear so that you can balance your voice and blend your voice with the other singers around you. Salome was a difficult opera. It was a German piece, and it was more contemporary than some of the other operas that I've done. The other operas that I've done, for the most part, were the classics. But the music in Salome, Richard Strauss's Salome, is difficult to sing. Parts of it are quite non-melodious, so it's difficult to find the notes. And I found it challenging, even though I didn't have a large role. It was a low role. I am a bass, and but the role that I had to sing, I basically sang with another singer who's also a bass, and he played the Roman soldier, and so we interact during this scene, and I'm asking him questions about this voice that I hear, which turns out to be John the Baptist, and he's a Roman guard assigned to keep people away from John the Baptist because John the Baptist has been imprisoned. And so I had to sing with this guy. The other guy was, quite frankly, a much better singer than I was, and he was more in what we call the tessitura. He was more in the meat of his range. I had to start out very low for me, and and I have to, basically I'm interrupting him, so I had to overpower him vocally, and it was difficult to do. He's a strong singer, and I found that challenging and difficult, but I think I got the job done. Well, Central Florida is a great place for the arts. I mean, of course, you have the theme parks where there's singing, acting, dancing all the time. The Orlando Opera is great. There are other equity professional theaters in town. There are a whole wealth of community theaters that do a lot of great work. And as far as film work goes, there's quite a bit of film work here, particularly in the wintertime. Our wintertime is very pleasant, and so a lot of commercials that would normally be shot in New York, in the wintertime, because of their harsh winters, will move down here. So the wintertime in Florida, there's quite a bit of TV commercial work that's done. So yeah, there's a lot here, and it's a great place to work.